Well, this is for the U.S., U.S. Police Department. Like right now, as you know, whole world knows what I'm going through, and who they used to cover by putting Mr. Chang in the front, but now it has been about 7 to 8 years. Now, who's doing it is the police. The one day who did wrong, okay, the one day who did wrong in University of Toronto, and it seems like around, he is there, but around, around him there's a Mexican American, and around the Mexican, around the Mexican American police, then more around the Mexican American, and then far, and then also the Caucasian police. um I okay I moved in my mother's house in 2003, and while I live about 4 to 5 year, and she never told me that her hands get swollen. But once I returned from Toronto, Ohio, and she was telling me that in the morning, my hands are swollen. My mother owns a townhouse. I had nothing. Uh, I think they are Mexican American police. They play on top of it. Caucasian police, the white people, is covering. Okay, all my cases has been done that way. University of Toronto, who received my information, Mexican American, who did it in the front, has been done by the Caucasian police, who's playing together behind, together. And then also the Lassen College, you know Christy Mayer, and then also the Grandora is the same thing. I bet UCSB is the same thing. To me it's way too much, way too much. Okay, so once I returned in 2009, once I returned from Toronto to Los Angeles, Montebello, my mother's home, and she was mentioning that in the morning she cannot clap hand. I just thought that she was tired. That's why her hands got swollen. And yeah, probably I think what they were doing to me right now, they were doing to her. And then once I returned from Toronto, Ohio, to my mother's town home located in Montebello, I hear all over the sound. In the house, their click, tick 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 tick. It was all around the house, and I was wondering why. And then I moved out from my mother's house about a year later, and then I moved on my life, and then also went to the South Korea. And so once we involved with this Mexican American, who investigate Mr. Lee and also received my information, and because they were controlling the criminal people and just harming for no reason, just like my case at the University of Toronto, and they were just harming. I don't know why, because I don't live, and I don't know why they were just doing it the way they are. And now it has been exposed. Now they want to make it, US like a communist country. and and I okay. So, well, once I involved with the Mexican American police in 2008, you know yeah, he created the University of Toronto event, creating a lie that I am going to suicide. Once I returned, he created a lie. I threatened Mr. Lee, so she got charged for it, and she failed. That's how she failed the University of Toronto, which was a totally lie. And they, in government system, they cooperated. They accept the lie, they accept the corruption, they play together. I think it's way too much. There was a no limit. There is no restriction. So I think this, last about 2 to 3 decades, that has been, the corruption has been expanded. That's what I see, and I don't know. Uh, okay, I don't know. And then once I returned from, once okay, And then I went to South Korea, and then Mexican American police organization and also Mr. Lee find out that I left. I left to US to South Korea in 2012. In 2013, Mr. Chang asked US member, what happened to her, what happened to, Chu Won-pak. And they find, they told South Korea, well, she threatened her ex, she got charged for it, so that's how she failed the University of Toronto, which was a lie, but, got accepted all over the world. And, and then they blame to my mother that they know what they were doing to my life, and I didn't know why it was not working, not while it used to be. My mother also doesn't know. We don't know the identity of who were doing things behind our life to ruin it. Whose power? Mexican American police power. And also there are street people, one of the street people is my ex, Mr. Lee. So I'm sure that there are bunch of street people. So they were blaming to my mother that probably Mr. Chang blamed it, where it seems like her mother didn't took care of her. That's why she came out. She left the US, to South Korea. And then they start to harass my mother, the Mr. Chang, the connection. But it seems like since without, it seems like it's one line. The one day who did Toronto, Ohio, the one day who's making click, click, click right after I return, the one day who accessed my, my mother's, and then once I left to South Korea in 2012, my mother sold townhouse and she moved into the one bedroom, one bath condominium in Koreatown, and it was kind of old. And anyway, and then she was living by her own, just doing like a little bit of work. And then they were blaming to my mother, and I believe that their Mexican American street people is also accessing the my mother's condominium. They open any door, and then they were spreading the they start to do something. My mother's bed location. That's the first thing. Once I return. Once we involved with this Mexican American police organization, since my mother has some kind of asset, they were doing something to my mother's bed. I think that's what I see, because this chemical has no smell, okay, but it makes your hands swollen. Now I know, because I don't think I never heard that her hands got swollen, but once I returned from Toronto to Montebello, my town home, and she was telling me that my hands get swollen in the morning. See, look at my finger and my hands. And I said, oh well, she might be tired. That's what because I was also, went through the hard time. I think she's kind of tired. That's what I thought. And then because she has an asset, maybe they could do something to her. They were harming her, I think, through the chemical. They were spreading something around her bed or something like poison. I don't know. It seems like I'm going to put the word. They break the sheet lock underneath, behind the baseboard, and they insert the chemical into the board. So they break the underneath they break the behind the baseboard, the sheet lock, put the chemical right at the location of where you are sleeping in, around the head, and she sleep without without knowing anything. She breathes, and then her hands get swollen. That's what I'm kind of perceiving it, because they in Anchorage house, I didn't took the picture of the bathroom, but they were doing to the bathroom closet and also the living room. And I also find the hole from the outside. They were making a hole from the outside to underneath of the house. They were inserting the poison. the living room where my bed is located at, and then my room where I'm sleeping at. Okay, probably at the top of my head. Okay, that's what they were doing it. This is what the Mexican American police is doing it right now. The Pakistan people, they working together for the money. Okay, and then they were blamed, and then they start to harming my mother, maybe due to my ex, could be because my ex didn't, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. He already were, he shouldn't behave that way. He shouldn't behave that way. Anyway, maybe he, I don't know. So they start to harass my mother a little bit, just like they are doing to me, but not intensely, but moderately, while we live in, Montebello, okay? Because we were living, unlike him, we were living in the good town home. It was a good town home. It's kind of 2,000 square feet, all the way to the bottom was a garage because, yeah, she bought it with the money that our father has been given to her to take care of us. So 1997, and then she was also working as a sample maker, rest of her life. And then by the time she was making about 3,000, about, by the time that when I returned 2015, she was making about $3,500. So she was about, while she was living in the Montebello, about 28 to 3,000 she was making it, as a sample maker. She also learned, she was kind of expert. So she was earning okay to cover, to make a payment for the house and also the insurance and all these expenses. So they were harming my mother, and I have nothing. But even though I have nothing, they screw my life. And then while I was in South Korea, probably my ex too, my Mr. Cheng, all together, they don't see what their side is doing wrong, and my ex was doing the same thing. He didn't feel sorry that what he has been done, and Mr. Cheng same thing, and Mexican American police they behave same way, same pattern. And also the government member, school staff, they behave same. But while I was living in Susanville, time to time I met the white people that has right mind who helped me, and also couple police officer, like a sheriff, and then they truly felt sorry what I was going through. So that I really counted. But there is also bad Caucasian police, 50-50. 50 they play one, there's a part of them they play, part of them not play. But Mexican American, that I don't know. Anyway, and they were harassing. Okay, so while I was in South Korea, they were just like they were doing what they are doing to me in Anchorage. They were sneaking in and out of my mother's house, and it seems like they were spreading chemical intensely. That's how she got into the lung cancer. Right now I feel swollen. It's a beginning symptom. And then she's working. She wake up probably 6 in the morning. She leaves home 7 in the morning, and then she return about 7 probably. And then she hardly has a time to think about it, what is going on. So she was keep on moving her living, and then she ended up getting a lung cancer because they were spreading the chemical. And then once she died, or I went to South Korea. I started to live in South Korea 2012. So starting 2013, I believe that they were accessing in and out of my mother's condominium, and spreading the chemical around her house, just like they were doing to me. And they were doing, because they blamed to her, they were doing it intent. They don't think about it. None is their fault, and they only do the bad to other people. They were doing intensely. Finally, after they harassing her about a year, she got lung cancer. Okay, I think exactly about a year. So she was continually breathing the chemical about a year, and then her lung got cancer, and with also the stress. And when I soon as somehow I contact her due to my father's money, I contact her April 2014, and then she said she got lung cancer, she got just diagnosed, and then and then time to time we talk through the Kakao, and she was telling me that I think the basement, I think he smoked, the smell comes out. So she was mentioning about the smell. it has it barely has a small smell, but it has a slight. Right now I don't know, it just has very slight. You hardly notice it. You do have some kind of not pleasant odor, but some kind of chemical things, but not, the smell, the odor is not strong. Okay, so now now so my mother, due to doing what they were doing, harassing, abusing, spreading chemical, she passed away. Who did it? Police street people. Who Mr. Lee is working with us as street police people. Mr. Cheng is also working as a police street people, and whatever they were doing was being covered. Yeah, and then it was covered by the police, and they were just expanding, even working with the abroad, hacking, all these kind of things. And yeah, I already mentioned that how they spread the chemical, because at least I have a Facebook that I talk publicly what they were doing. So police side, so right now it's all over. Who's doing it is a police. And I was kind of thinking, they're not criminal. What I'm going through, by what I'm being, what I'm what I am experienced by is not criminal. It's the police and ex-soldier. Police, Mexican American police, also Caucasian police, who's working together, who's playing together. Mr. Cheng is also ex-soldier, and then who operate this U.S. criminal organization. Seems like U.S. Army went, U.S. Army went, Mexican American police member, not police member, soldier member. So I am going through what I'm going through due to their hidden behavior from soldier, ex-soldier, and police. This is not should be. And even my mother has passed, knowing that what they have been done, they will just continue to doing it, because nobody is investigating them, because they are working parallel. Who's covering is a police. Who has a power? Government member, and also police. This, to me, this gotta do something. This, and then hacker and people in U.S. society keep on telling me that, it's the Mr. Cheng, They were putting the Mr. Cheng front. Okay, I agree. I agree. Now, Mr. Cheng provide all these hacking, wiretapping technology to Mexican American organization. That's, I believe. That's why and then he's operating this criminal, criminal organization towards the U.S. society together. And he also hooked the minority in South Korea, Pakistan, Russia, whatsoever, through the SNS and with the member in U.S. And somehow they, network each other. I believe That's what he has been done. So Mexican American Street People organization, that's supported by the Mexican American police organization, is playing all together with the Mr. Chang. And well, yes, they are criminal. Okay, they are criminal, but due to it seems like yes, they have the power, so they're not stopping it. They do the criminal because they know that it's not going to investigate it, so they keep on doing it. Even people die due to what they were doing. Look at my life. And then they spread the wrong and false rumor because that manipulation. And yeah, or to me, US police is more corrupted compared to South Korea police, police system. At least they might hoogie boogie, they may allow, but they don't create all these criminal by their own. Like here in US, people, I also say that, their title is a US police, but work like a Mexican or third country police, and people go to caca, that has been created by Mr. Chang's organization. Yeah, I think it's doing way too much, and and yeah, and then I hope, and also they were hard, their police they became police in order to keep the society safe and society and citizens safe and protected. So does a soldier, but somehow in the front they are police, but in behind they were criminal. That's how they operating it. And that's why, and then in the front, as being police, they exercise their power and they were blocking my career. The only reason they play my life without letting me know. I didn't know. I still do not know part of them. I just know big, picture. They haven't exposed Mr. Chang and Mexican American. They expose my identity and with the lie all over the world. And they were playing, and due to their play, they were blocking my career because Mexican American community has been used to spread my first rumor mouth to mouth. The rumor spread two-way, mouth to mouth and SNS. Mr. Chang and Pakistan and those kind of people is doing it from abroad through the SNS. And then here in society, in real society, mouth to mouth. So Mexican American community has been used to tell my first story. That's what I think. That's why Mexican American police line was blocking my career. Just the only reason because they have a power to do so. And so all these kind of things, they have a bad heart. They have a twisted bad heart. They're not classic. I don't know why, but it has been done it that way. And those kind of characteristic trait people, same pattern people, they cling together, they cluster together, they create organization, they play together. To me, something need to be done. Okay, that's my opinion, and that's why I'm using it. In front, they block my career, and then by exercising their power, and then they behave like a communist. Do not tell what you behave, what you experience. They know it is wrong in democratic society. So they were blocking my mouth what I haven't went through. So do not tell about personal matter. It's a manipulation and people accept it. But on my side, okay, what I'm emailing to staff is wrong. Then I report. They never investigated what has been done. Investigated LA Internal Affairs. Instead of investigating, they contact UCSB. Did what they did. And did they even? When I ask when am I going to get the result, and then Lorendo or something like that, he said, well, it will take about a year. They never did. So on their side, they just ignore it. Just like a Los Angeles College president Espanol, they just silly, they'll ignore it and they'll let it go. This is what is going on. But whatever on my side, if I do something wrong, it's your fault. It's your fault. You probate it. You against the rule. This is, they manipulate things. They I think these these police, they're not, these organization, they are very good at that. They're very good at manipulation. They turn it around. They are very good at that. So, but what can I do? So I cannot do anything. That's what I'm doing it for higher power to investigate it, because it is being way too much. In U.S. society, they put Mr. Chang in the front, but who's doing it is Mexican American police, and they're criminal. And also, like, right now, Anchorage, I think Pakistan, they are playing together. While I was in, South Korea in year 2023, Mr. Chang only talk. They cannot do any crime to me. Like crossing the line here in US, they go further. Even accessing my home like freely in and out, just like that. And they even put one, they break in. Number two, they spread chemical. And number three, yeah, they spread the chemical. And then even mice, they freely in and out. Even mice, they were playing. My mice was very like a tiny little bit, but now I don't know. They put like a bigger one right now. So they were humming, and then all around my house, all around the chemical, all around my house. So they were doing the crime, but in South Korea, they only talk. That was it about it. I think that's about it. They couldn't do any action to to get it into the crime. But in US, I think they are more protected, due to the power of the Mexican American. I think they were more easily crossing the line. Okay, so hopefully the US, and I hope you investigate it. I mean, I've been done everything. And to me, it shouldn't be. They are playing way too much, and they don't care. They don't care. They don't care that they are playing. They don't care that they are harming other citizens. They don't care. Here, it's just way of their life. Unless a higher power block them, they will continue to do it. So yeah, so it's been about probably like almost like 2 decades that I'm going through, once I involved with the Mexican American. And Mexico is a very beautiful country too. In 1980, we used to go like a Tijuana, and people eat, and but now their power has been went up. I don't know the politics. I don't know what they want, but this is not, to me, going through what I'm going through with the power of the Mexican, and they don't feel sorry, and I hope you do feel sorry, because I know you do feel sorry. About a few days ago, they accessed my home and took a bunch of my house key. So I will look around, and there is none. So I called the AKPD, and then I was moving, continue to around, and then it was right at the entrance. I said, how? When I pick up the key, there is only auto key. the key that has been held wasn't there. I think they sent cat to drop it. That's it was like a ghost. They behaved like a ghost. And the dispatcher sent the fighter. So totally like a four fighter came. And then there was Mexican American. I think she's a Mexican American. And then he seems like also more like Americanized, more like a Caucasian, like Mexican American, and two Caucasian, tall men behind him. And then I was going to give the well, since you came, then I'm going to hand it out my Facebook address. And then she was looking at the lady, and the man was standing in front, and then the Caucasian two men was standing behind it, carelessly. So, but I mean, just standing. And then once I told, well, I'm going to, I'm going to give my Facebook address. And then she was looking at, and then she wants to exchange like some kind of look. And I don't know, because I try to understand their behavior and the things that is not being straightforward, and also the system and everything, and covering the bad their side, and let other people to be victimized, and those kind of because I couldn't just understand their behavior, but continue to continue to lie to their own, and also the society, and also manipulate around. And that's the society I think they wanted to make. I don't know. I really do not know, because that's not the way it should be. Whether I'm like, as you see my white hair, I see tangible and intangible is same. When you build a house in wrong way, it will collapse. Intangible way, how the look, how your behavior, society. Intangible, if your behavior is not correct, it will collapse one day. That's what I'm thinking. But nothing you can see, there's no evidence. So she wants to hide what I was. Mexican American, Mr. Chang, and Korean, they wanna, Korean American community also play hard. They wanna hide what I went through, because it should not be in U.S. Democrat society. So by hiding, I think in order, they thought that they could hide it by sending me back to South Korea with the work that Mr. Chang doing it together. But somehow I end up settling in Anchorage, and they don't want it. Mexican American, I think they don't want it. Caucasian party, I don't know. More and then I don't know. So anyway, or they are in and out of, they are disturbing my privacy. Why? I wanna bug you so that you leave this U.S. That's the main part. That's the main goal. And it has been right now, because I was uploading all these evidence of chemical particle that I was collecting it, keep on reporting it. So it has been blocked. So now I am taking care the leftover. They poured it in the yard and I don't know, they still doing it. God knows, because but they still sending a cat. To me, cat means that they are going to spread the chemical, that I don't know. It's kind of threat. Sending a cat is kind of threat. So I don't know. This where I believe that police need a street people in order for them to work better. But this is much way over the line. They are using street people in order to create the crime. This shouldn't be this way. And I had to tell what I'm going through, and also my mother has been, went through, and they are doing it to everybody, and they don't care, and too much what they were doing. And if Mexican American, they don't behave, they put instead of putting Mr. Chang in the front, just don't listen. In South Korea, the street people cannot listen Mr. Chang. US, why you listen? In South Korea, street, even Chinese Korean cannot listen Mr. Chang to cross the line to create certain criminal behavior into an action. They couldn't do it. So Mr. Chang only blah blah in the air. That's it. And I never experienced any. But here, access. There, yes, they did access. Just to just a little bit of chop. But doing what they are doing in Anchorage is too much. I don't know, maybe they want to kill me or what. I think that's what the abroad they plan on killing me. I don't know. And who are doing is police and ex-soldier and their organization. It shouldn't be that way. And it was, if it was my play that I did something wrong or I did bad, then I should be responsible. It's your responsibility. Mexican American Mr. Chang, those play abroad. Mr. Chang and Mexican American police organization and their street people, they're far without even letting me know. They play with the lie. And that lie, even knowing the truth, Mr. Chang was insisting to continue to spread the lie. So let them investigate. He's the one. He hooked up the Chinese Korean. He, let them play. So you have to investigate the wrong one, not me. I just want to live my small life. And then knowing, as you see, I'm still going through this chemical event. The leftovers still, clinging to my body. The whole air is like that right now, in and out. I'm continually collecting the chemicals in and out of my house. And then at the end, I will also tell the Korean, police department in South Korea. I went to the INTERPOL in South Korea for them to take care, because Chinese, Korean, Mexican American working together, and also over there Pakistan, Mohammed or something like that. It's not a whole member. It's not a whole. It's just a part of a member. That part of them, just like a criminal, police law enforcement is getting, they have to get this one. It has been played because they were playing parallel, and they were operated by the police member, has not been investigated. Probably 2 to 3 decades, and everybody knows what is going on in society. And Anchorage dispatcher thinking that society doesn't know. Yes, they do know everything, more than they know. More than they know, because they don't talk to me because I put things on the Facebook. Just like my phone hacking in Susanville, they already know everything from the sky. They already knew me, because they less likely they talk. But how much I know, if I know this much, then in society right now is knowing this much. It's just that they don't get the the abusement, not just like intensely, like just they don't get the abuse not as much as I do, to their for their life, and they are just watching it. But they talk. If I know this much, they know this much. Most likely I find out through people. Yeah. And then even in South Korea too, more true thing, just like my house event. Everybody was telling, when I went to South Korea 2023, everybody was telling me that it's all about your house. Yes, it was about the house. And God has been told why it was the house, because the location of the house, along with the creek and size of the house, and also the hot spring reserve. Yes, they wanted to get it 100. Mexican American police and also Mr. Chang. Mr. Chang kind of messed up. He doesn't really do much things. Okay, anyway, this is for the US. and then I am going to talk in Korean to Korea, South Korea Police Department. 이제 장태호라 그러는데 장태호 맞습니다. 장태호 맞고, 장태호가 장새끼, 이제 장태호 이름 이제 누군지를 아니까 다들 얘가 이 새끼가 집에서 이제 장새끼가 정말 유튜브 보면은 욕도 아깝다 그러는 말들을 하잖아요. 근데 그게 맞습니다. 장새끼 집에는 악마가 되기를 원하는 그 책이 있었었고, 또 그 악마가 되자고 자기가 그렇게 행동을 하는 것 같아요. 예, 이제 그게 하나고, 이제 두 번째는 제 일파만파가 이제 부평경찰서에서도 말한 것 같이 제가 한국하고 엮였지 않았으면 저는 그냥 무난히 살아갑니다. 이렇게까지는 제가 겪질 않습니다. 그러니까 경찰도 아실 거예요. 제가 서대문 인터폴도 찾아갔고, 지금 같이 멕시칸하고 그 다음에 조선족들하고 이제 노는 거 다 알고, 그 다음에 문제는 이제 장새끼가 글로벌리 놀자고 이제 한국에 있는 러시안도 엮어서 미국에 있는 러시안을 쳐라, 파키스탄, 인디안 다 미국에 있는 자국민들을 치라 그랬는데, 그렇게 하는 지금 나라들 아무도 없습니다. 아무도 없고, 이제 조선족이 엮였다 보니까 중국도 아니고 한국도 아니고 엮였다 보니까 이제 한국 커뮤니티가 더 크게 놀게 된 것 같고, 그 다음에 애시당초에 이 전직 정보요, 제가 장새끼 집에서 한 5, 60명 정도 되는 단체 사진을 봤습니다. 그리고 장새끼가 앞에 딱 서 있고, 예, 그러고 같은 이제 연령대, 그게 아마 이 조직인 것 같아요. 이제 장새끼가 특수요원의 탑 정도 됐었고, 이제 같이 조직들을 만들어서 나쁜 일들을 하고 경찰력도 조사하지 말게끔 가압을 하고, 한편으로는 조선족들을 엮어서 민주당 쪽으로 SNS로 계속 사회에 뿌리면서 민주당을 좋게 하고, 그 다음에 얘네들이 SNS의 그 영향력이 있으니까 많은 연예인들이 이 민주당 뭐 좌파 우파 뭐 하여튼 뭐 그런 거 얘기를 하잖아요. 그러니까는 이쪽 민주당 쪽으로 이제 쏠렸던 것 같고, 왜 그럼 SNS로 온 뭐 파키스탄, 프랑스, 한국의 그 외국인 범죄 조직들이 있잖아요. 걔네들로 인해서 그 SNS를 다 뿌리니까. 근데 또 그만큼 실력이 있어서 뿌렸고, 실력이 있어가지고 이제 그 광고를 하는 거죠. 근데 그만큼 좋으면 이제 걔네들이 더 올라가는 거고, 안 좋으면은 이제 없어지는 거고, 그거는 이제 자기네들이 선택이겠죠. 그 다음에 또 한 가지는 장새끼가 이미 뭐 외국인 범죄 조직, 그 다음에 조선족을 이용해서 자국민을, 군인이라는 새끼가 군인이 새끼가 한국 자국민을 갖다가, 그러니까는 외국인들을 이용해서 자국민들을 쳤고, 이미 수년간 그 생활 패런이 미국 교포한테까지 옮겨와서 멕시칸과 조선족을 이용해서 같은 한국인을 칩니다. 그리고 상관을 안 해요. 여기 온 세상들이 장새끼 그러면서, 그런데도 상관 안 해요. 그리고 또 여기에서도 모르겠어요. 장새끼라고 하는데 제가 이제 감으로 맞는 것 같아요. 제가 이제 저도 약간 느끼는 게 있고, 왜 그러냐면 저만이 아니라 모든 사람들은 칠성줄, 한국 사람들 칠성줄, 뭐 미국에서는 식스센스 뭐 그런 것처럼 어떤 패런이 이렇게 나와요. 보지 않아도 보는 것이요, 듣지 않아도 듣는, 이게 사람이에요. 이게 머리로 보고 머리로 생각하고 머리로 듣고, 이제 어떠한 행동을 감을 잡아서 장새끼가 부여된 거는 맞고, 이 새끼는 한국 시민이 될 자격이 없는 새끼예요. 한국 시민이 될 자격이 없는 새끼야. 계속 외국인을 이용해서 한국 사람을 치고 망가뜨리고 피해를 입히고, 더욱이 한국 이미지를 상관을 안 해요. 애시당초 상관을 안 해. 뭐 여기서 뭐 많이 역이민 하게끔 그거를 조성한 게 장새끼, 그 다음에 이 뭐 경찰 쪽, 이 그 뭐지 이쪽 같은데, 한국이 돈이 그만큼 한국하고 미국하고 이제 다 똑같은 사회예요. 사회인데 우선은 여기는 수년간 우선 터전 계속 나가는 그거고, 또 한 번 이전을 해서 거기에서는 발판이 잡혀 있지가 않기 때문에 돈이 필요해요. 많은 사람들이 한국 재밌어요. 여행 다니기도 좋고, 그 다음에 안전하고, 치안 범죄 쪽으로도 많이들 안전하고 재밌고, 하지만 환경 쪽으로 이렇게 옮긴다는 게 쉽지가 않아요. 그리고 한편으로는 한국에서 그 시민들이 미국 이제 교포는 어찌 됐거나 간에 우리는 여기서도 살 수 있고 여기서도 이제 양국에서 거주는 할 수 있잖아요. 근데 한국 시민은 양국에서 거주를 할 수 없잖아요. 이제 약간 그런 혜택을 받고, 그러니까 솔직히 이렇게 이쁘게 보지도 않고 미국 교포들, 예, 그러기 때문에 그냥 무슨 일적으로 뭐 가서 거기에서 살지 않는 한 아마 사람들이 다시 또 나갔다가 다시 돌아오고 아마 그럴 거예요. 그리고 여기는 시민으로서 어떤 더 그 시민으로서의 권리나 혜택이, 권한들이, 혜택, 권리, 혜택, 권한 뭐 이런 게 여러 가지가 있지만, 또 한국은 그저 방문객, 하지만 비자의 그 기간이 없이 그냥 거주할 수 있다, 그냥 그 정도기 때문에 불편한 점들도 있을 거고, 물론 이제 혜택도 많이 주시고 이제 그런 것도 있겠지만, 예, 그래서 그거는 이쪽 일부가 그렇게 겪어보지 않고 생각으로 이렇게 하면 좋겠다, 그럼 망하는 케이스예요. 음. 장, 장새끼가 뭐 비누 하면 좋겠다 망한 것처럼, 예, 그만큼 통찰력이 뭐 세지들도 않고, 그 다음에 사업가들처럼 제가 보니까, 물론 공직자들을 제가 그거 하는 거는 아니지만 예리한 면이 사업가보다는 떨어지는 거는 맞아요. 예, 공직자는 나온 월급 가지고 그 예리함이 사업가들보다 덜 발달된 거는 맞는 것 같더라고요. 나오는 돈에 그냥 자기 일 하면 되는 거고, 사업가들은 자기의 자금으로 굴려야 돼요. 이제 상장을 하지 않는 한. 예, 그러고 더 부패도 더 적고, 부패가 적을 수밖에 없는 게, 부패를 하면 당장 손실이 나니까. 정권은 부패를 해도 떨어지는 돈, 세금으로 떨어지는 돈, 그러니까 더 부패가 됐고 예리한 면도 더 낮고, 그런 이제 그런 것 같더라고요. 그래서 한국도 이 장새끼 조직, 그 다음에 이것 좀 같이 처리했으면 합니다. 장새끼 그러는데 맞고, 이제 같이 노는 것도, 지금 뭐 러시안도 붙었다가 떨어졌고, 뭐 베트남, 이제 러시안 아메리칸이라 그러죠. 미국 거주 러시안 아메리칸도 카인드 놀다가 떨어진 것 같더라고요. 흑인, 여기 아프리칸 아메리칸, 흑인도 놀다가 떨어졌어요. 이 글로벌 플레이에서. 그 다음에 베트남 애들은 아예 안 했고, 또 중국도 조선족으로 인해서 이렇게 들어오려고 이렇게 조성을 하는 것 같더라고요. 근데 떨어졌어요. 네. 그 다음에 한국 커뮤니티는 조금 놀았는데 지금 이렇게 모르겠어. 지금은 어떻게 되는지. 다들 놀지 말고, 그 다음에 다들 글로벌 플레이고 나발이고, 이거는 글로벌 플레이를 정상적으로 노는 게 아니라 범죄 조직으로 노는, 이 경찰하고 정치인들이 범죄 조직으로 노는 거기 때문에 이거는 아닌 것 같고, 그 다음에 범죄적인 일들을 하니까 해킹하고 도청하고, 쟤처럼 이 집에 들어오는 거 해킹, 뭐 앱으로 디지털 앱 해킹하고 뭐 다 이런 것들 다 지금 얘네들 하잖아요. 그러니까 양국이 서로 조사해서 이거 좀 막았으면 좋겠습니다. 감사합니다.